And now, the Imaginary Boys presents 2 hours of non-stop ambient whale noises. Happy April 1st, everybody! Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Imaginary Boys podcast. I am one of the two hosts, Mr. Habanero. I have my secondary host, Mr. Lettuce, and tonight we are getting White Girl Wasted. Join us, will you?
White Girl Wasted. That's adorable. You because of my request, you are becoming my basic white girl.
That's kind of hot. That's kind of hot. Yeah. So basically, I have not released the video yet. I will probably be releasing it after this podcast. Like, in other words, after this podcast is released, not after we finish recording, obviously. But so I am drinking the pumpkin pie soda, which is actually, I know, spoiler alert. For anybody who hasn't seen the video, for anybody who's listening to the podcast, first of all, much appreciate, love you very much, and you get the chance to hear the spoiler alert, which is the pumpkin pie soda is actually pretty banging. It's really damn good, and it was specifically Lettuce's idea that I use it to mix with my vanilla vodka, and I am drinking that right now. Hope you guys heard that. And it is really delicious. I'm already one shot in. I took a shot before I poured my drink. And then I've got 2 shots in my actual drink. And I'm already starting to feel it because I am a simple, lightweight, basic bitch alcohol drinker. So how are you doing with your drinks, Mr. Man, Mr. Lettuce Man?
I am pretty good. I had a Crown Royal, whiskey and cola.
Mm-hmm.
They have these little things where they have like little cocktails or drinks, alcoholic beverages in a 12-ounce can.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't think they sold these in my state. So when I was going out to get libations for tonight, or libations, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
I saw that the alcohol store had a 4-pack of those, and I was like, yoink. And right next to it, they had Peach Crown, which I missed last season because it's a seasonal flavor that Crown does.
Right.
I miss it, so I tried. So I thought I would try it this time. Did a like a double shot of just the Crown Peach by itself.
Mhm.
And are you familiar with the those like peach ring gummy candies?
Yeah, I love those. They're delicious.
Okay, imagine that. Uh, Imagine somebody left a mason jar full of Tennessee whiskey
Uh-huh.
that was like half full of those rings dissolving in the alcohol.
Oh, that sounds so good. I bet that gets you like that sounds like something that'll get you very drunk very quickly.
Well, I mean, it's still very whiskey-y, but it does have that candy peach flavor.
Mm. I always love candy that is like, oh, it's the peach rings. Oh, it's a watermelon gummy. Like, and you just like eat it and you're like, this tastes nothing like peaches. This tastes nothing like watermelon, but god damn it, is it
Oh,
delicious.
the peach rings are my favorite type of candy like that.
Yeah, they're
Well,
so good.
second favorite candy like that.
Because they don't actually taste like peach, but they're so tasty that you don't care that it doesn't taste like peach.
I mean, they have a small peach-like taste,
Kinda.
but they also taste like the kind of the way you wish peaches did taste when you eat a peach.
Yeah, like more sugar.
Like if I'm eating a peach, I'm
Uh-huh.
like, oh, this is good. But if this tasted like the ring candy, it would be so much better. Like a peach cobbler.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah.
If peaches and peach cobbler tasted like that, peach cobbler would have my foot fallen off by diabetes for how much I would eat it.
That sounds so good.
Um,
I do love me a good like so tell me here's something I gotta know. So I like to eat fruit when it's hard. So like when it's like not ripe. So like for example, I like my peaches and nectarines and also my pears to be crispy and like, you know, like an apple, right?
like before, just most of those fruits right before ripening.
Yeah. And I
Oh, I
love
can't
that
do that
because
with peaches.
oh, that's my favorite. I like it doesn't matter what kind of fruit it is. Like if it's a peach, if it's a pear, if it's a nectarine, if it's a plum, like if it's got like a crunch and like a slightly sour taste to it, like an apple. Like that's
I
how I love all my fruit.
I will eat a slightly green banana
Hmm. Okay. I mean I can
because
get down
because
on a green banana.
because well, slightly green.
Slightly
Um,
green, sure.
because like a green banana is actually incredibly bitter.
Mhm.
A slightly green banana is way better than a slightly brown banana.
Yeah, yeah, I can agree with that.
If bananas start slightly browning, I'm like, well, it's time to make some banana bread.
In my opinion, when it comes to fruit in general, my overall perspective is that if it's soft and ripe, then it's too ripe for me. Like I like them to be hard and crunchy. Like
Okay,
that's just I don't. Hmm.
that's it. I mean, that's okay. Like that's one way to
Yeah.
do it. I
Yeah.
like I as far as hard grape hard fruits go. I love me some frozen grapes.
Oh yeah, they're like tiny popsicles.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
like little grape sherbet balls.
Yeah, little tiny popsicles. I love them. Like
Yeah,
yeah, frozen fruit is really good. Or like even just like what I love frozen mango. Like like you know the kind like when you go up
not a big fan of mango.
oh, I love mango. It's so good. It's actually funny. Did you know that mango is part of the I believe it's the poison oak family. So there are people that are allergic to the skin and the oil of mangoes.
I did not know that. Thank you,
Yeah.
Professor.
Well, the reason why I know that is because I had a family member who was extremely allergic to poison oak, and they would also have allergic reactions to like I mean obviously like everybody has an allergic reaction to poison oak because that's how poison oak is. But poison oak was really dangerous for them. And they also would have an allergic reaction to the oil and skin of mangoes because of their allergy to poison oak. So, and I had that family member, their face one day got really, really fucked up from mango skin. I seen it. It was really bad. They were this family member of mine. She had gotten a, what was it? A really fancy mango peel tea. So it was like a mango tea, but they used the peels of the mango to flavor the tea. And oh man, I'll never forget it. It was so brutal. So it was like a fancy imported tea, and they made some. And the steam of the tea like hit her in the face. And she had like an immediate reaction to just the steam hitting her in the face. And like her skin started to itch and it turned really red and nasty and blotchy. And she had like it was really, really bad. And we had to take her to the hospital. And they were like, yeah, so we noticed that you're allergic to poison oak. Well, you're also allergic to mango for the same reasons that you're allergic to poison oak. And here's all the information about that. And we're just like, whoa, like that's crazy. So after that, she never touched a mango ever again. So there you go. That's my story about mangoes.
Cool. So to finish off
Sorry.
my alcohol adventure,
Yeah.
as I was watching you play Inscription,
Great game.
Oh yeah, excellent game. Thanks for the gift.
You know it, boo. I got you.
Yeah. I finished off that can of whiskey and cola, and I also drank a cup of that peach crown and cola.
That does sound good. I'm going to take another sip just because of that.
Yeah. So I'm already probably 5 shots into my adventure, and I just topped off again. So I've got another 3 shots in my cup.
That was like 3 hours ago, too. Going hard, boyo.
Well, I'm not what you would call a lightweight.
Yeah, no, I figure. I totally understand that.
I am a Hall of Famer when it comes to drinking of the alcohol.
Yeah. I'm definitely a lightweight. I mean, I can drink, but what usually happens for me is like I can drink and hold it, and then it just all hits me at once, and then I'm done. Like I'm super done. So it's
I'll be super buzzing after I drain this cup, but that's about as far as it'll go.
I feel it. My drink is delicious. I just got to let you know, like you were right. Mixing the vanilla vodka with the pumpkin soda is absolutely a quality S tier drink. Like I'm kind of trying to make sure that I don't drink it too fast, to be honest.
Yeah, because you don't want that vodka in there to wreck your shit.
Yeah. Well, I made sure to take a shot before so that I could, and I'm definitely feeling it. I'm definitely feeling it for sure.
Well, that's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
I'm on.
I'm glad that there's at least one soda there that you you at least actually somewhat like.
Is it weird that I think maybe the sweet corn might not be all that bad?
Well, I mean that's probably your last chance at something that isn't going to make you sick.
It's true.
So I knew that this pumpkin pie was going to be your favorite.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
You told me you like pumpkin. You told me you like pumpkin spice lattes.
I do indeed.
Yeah, you are, because you are a basic white girl.
I am. I'm like basic white bitch. Yeah, basic bitch white girl.
You are my basic white bitch. So like I figured that was going to be your favoritist and the only one you probably won't pour half it down the drain.
So I'm gonna give you a little interesting thing here.
By the
Um,
way,
mhm,
I want to on public record
mhm.
absolve you of any guilt for after you do the hot wing
Oh god.
trashing ranch.
Yeah. Okay. I have been drinking all of these sodas very, very slowly. I I
Oh,
have this.
I didn't even think that you would give ranch a second shot after like
I
okay, so I'm going to go ahead and admit to you right now that
uh-huh.
I'm glad I did this for you. This is some this is probably some killer content for your channel. I'm sure everybody is smashing all the like buttons. The one the one between because I know I kind of know the audience you have,
Uh-huh.
and there's probably a few sadists in there.
Uh-huh.
So this torture porn that you're giving them, especially ranch,
Yeah, man.
I'm sure they smashed that like button on the screen and the one in their pantaloons.
I heard that a lot of people liked the reaction that I had when I sniffed it the first time.
It was very like for me it was just like mwah.
uh it popped off on Facebook. People thought that shit was hilarious on Facebook. I got a bunch of likes and reactions on Facebook, which I was really
Well
surprised
that's
about.
well as I said, you know, the world in general is a sadistic place. And what you're doing is you're releasing torture porn.
I
And
literally have the buffalo wing one saved as the very last one. It's the very
uh
last of the
that
collection.
wasn't my suggestion.
Did you think I should have it more closer to the middle?
I was thinking sweet corn was I wanted your sweet corn to be your last one because I wanted to withhold it from the person excited for sweet corn.
So yeah,
Because by God, I am that asshole.
sweet corn is the second to last of the three that I have left.
I'll accept that. I'll accept that. If because okay, so my thinking was I wanted you to do ranch first,
Right.
specifically because I figured there because you don't seem like a dippy boy.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're not you don't seem like a person who has to have like dipping sauces for everything.
I mean, I like ranch. It's good. I just don't need it.
Well,
You know?
like most people like ranch. I mean, like to be perfectly honest, if you don't have good peanut butter,
Yeah.
like the only way to eat celery is ranch.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But like outside of vegetables,
Yeah.
like if ranch is available, I'll eat it.
Sure.
I don't go out my way to order extra ranch for anything.
Right. Right.
Um and there's a lot of times where like they'll ask me like if I go to get like chicken nuggets somewhere, they'll be like, "Well, what dipping sauce do you want?" I'll be like, "Oh, just give me some ranch."
Yeah.
I'll throw the ranch
Classic.
packets. I'll throw the ranch packets in my fridge just in case, like somebody who needs ranch at my house.
Yeah.
Like
It,
my fiance loves ranch, so like I kind of do that for her. I also like just buy like the only reason why I really buy ranch bottles
mm-hmm.
is because like she'll come over and I'll cook something and there's some ranch to have there, and I know she likes ranch, so you know I'll make the ranch available to her.
Do you like sriracha sauce?
No, I'm a pussy when it comes to spicy shit.
Okay. I was gonna say one of my favorite things is to take ranch and mix it with sriracha. Get
Like
like a
I
sriracha ranch.
I like ranch and buffalo sauce mixed together.
That's also very delicious. I
Yeah,
can
I
I
like
can
ranch.
definitely agree with you on that.
I like mixing like buffalo sauce. Actually, the buffalo sauce dipping sauce that you get at McDonald's with your McNuggets
Yeah. Yeah.
is pretty good mixed with their ranch.
That's interesting. I don't.
Otherwise, their buffalo sauce is disgusting.
Right. Excuse me.
That was
So.
hot.
Bleh. So what I was gonna say was, I have a weird thing about when it comes to like stuff like sodas and other things like that. I can't waste it. I would literally feel all the goddamn guilt in the world if I just dumped that down the sink. I would feel terrible.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I know you a little bit better
Yeah.
than maybe I should.
Yeah. So
But after seeing what ranch did to you,
yeah.
I wanted to publicly state here on this podcast that I absolve you of any guilt for ditching ranch and probably the hot sauce.
You ready for this? I drank that ranch soda alongside of eating buffalo chicken nuggies.
Ugh. Ugh. like, I guess.
It was, I'll be honest, off camera, it was not like, I was like, all right, I gotta get rid of this, and I don't want to like dump it down the sink because I'll feel terrible. I drank that. I suffered, and it was not a great, like, it was not a good experience. Like, a part of me almost wishes that I recorded it on camera, but at the same time, I was like, people aren't going to want to watch me like choke down, buffalo chicken nuggies while drinking ranch soda.
No one's gonna watch you eat.
Nobody wants to see that.
You're not a mukbang. You're not a mukbang channel. So.
No. It was a special kind of terrible. It was
I get it. And like, I kind of half feel bad because Drunken Rob kind of. I already knew how you felt about sodas and sweet things.
Yeah.
But Drunken Rob was like, oh my god, there's a ranch soda? Because, no, whiskey, it was bacon soda. It's like, oh my god, there's a bacon soda? I'm going to make him drink that. So this is mostly Cinder Shadow's fault. Because I searched it on Amazon and found that it was a 6-pack with everything else. I was like, oh, this is going to be so much fun to put him through.
Oh man, anytime people send me stuff like that, I gotta do videos. Like, I will suffer through it. Like, it's content, man.
I feel bad. Like, after, I kind of half felt guilty after the ranch video.
Yeah.
Because you look like you got straight
Bruh.
Yeah.
Like that looked like I'm surprised you didn't actually just hurl, because it looked like you were about to.
I legit, like, so, okay.
You chewed it back, didn't you?
All right, here we go. You guys are going to get the full story here. All right. So, I was fighting nausea for the rest of that day. Like, I didn't throw up, but I almost did multiple times. And and here's the thing, okay? That video was not released the day that I recorded it. So
no, it was like the day after.
It was like 3 days. 3 days.
Okay.
Yeah. The PB&J one I released the day of, but the ranch one, it was like 3 days before I released it. And I was sick for a good portion of that day after I recorded that. Here's the thing. I told you guys that I did actually drink the ranch soda, the entire ranch soda, because I would feel guilty if I didn't. And I drank it alongside of eating buffalo chicken nuggies. I threw up multiple times after that. I hurled chunks.
Because it's just, yeah.
Yeah, I hurled chunks multiple times that day, and that was a couple days later. That was a couple days later after the ranch video.
Oh, I'm sorry, man.
It's okay. That's not your fault. I'm the one who made that decision. That soda is not designed for human consumption. Even though humans can consume it, it shouldn't be consumed by humans. Like,
Like, and according to you, it didn't even taste like ranch.
no, it didn't. It tastes well. I mean, okay. So the only thing that tasted like ranch in that soda was the dill. It just because like ranch is very heavy on the dill. It
Yeah,
tasted like
ranches, dill, buttermilk, and sadness.
yeah. Ranch is just it's that soda was it literally tasted. It first of all smelled like baking soda. It smelled like baking soda, and it tasted like baking soda and dill and sugar, and that was it. There wasn't even like a creamy taste to it at all. Like not at all, not one bit.
Yeah, there was like no taste. Like they did nothing to extract like the buttermilk fat
Yeah.
taste to go with the dill.
I mean,
The
how
cream
would they
soda,
do that though, you know?
they don't know how they would extract the flavor of buttermilk fat.
Yeah.
So, but the thing is, that's probably because the idea of this thing is it's all natural. It's cane sugar, it's club soda, and it's natural flavoring.
Right, right.
So they were like ranch. They're like maybe club soda kind of sort of substitutes buttermilk fat flavor,
Yeah.
and then we could take this dill here and throw it in there, and then kind of make a tea with club soda and dill because the carbon because the baking soda smell you smelled was club soda.
So it didn't it's kind of hard to explain. It was definitely not like a club soda kind of thing. Because so I'm a person who drinks club soda a lot. Like I mean if I'm going to drink a carbonated drink, a lot of the time it's going to be a club soda or, you know, something like a LaCroix. Like and I don't care what anybody says. I like LaCroix. Um
I
but
mean, you just cemented your basic white bitch credentials there with that one, sir.
yeah. I just like I like carbonated water without sugar in it. Like that's just kind of what that is. That's why I like
Oh no,
LaCroix.
no, I understand. I understand.
Yeah.
It just means that your vagina is covered in blonde pubes.
Hurtful, but you know what? It's fine, whatever. Um but so like cuz I know what like you know a club soda smells and tastes like and I mean that was not a club soda scent. That was legit. Like if you were to go and pull a box of baking soda, like go into your cupboard, pull out a box of Arm& and Hammer, shove your
Bruh.
face in it, and take a big fat
Bruh.
whiff. That's what this ranch soda smelled like.
Okay.
Like that's what it smelled like. It did
Have
not
you
smell like club soda. It smelled like
Bruh.
Arm& and Hammer.
Okay. Uh have you ever had a you know the soda stream things?
I mean, I've never owned one, but I know of their existence. You
Have you
know,
ever had one of those CO2 canisters rupture on you?
no, not at all.
Yeah, no, those CO2 canisters smell like baking soda.
Okay.
That's it's basically what those things are is trying to inject carbonation through a natural carbonate, which is baking soda,
Hmm. That's interesting. I mean,
and and a slightly and a type of acid that is A, safe to consume, B, has no flavor or scent.
hmm. Yeah, it's just it just like, and I wish that I had in that video my one regret, the ranch soda video. My one regret about that video was like I didn't exaggerate the flavor of dill. Like I didn't even mention it in that video, and I wish I did because that was the one absolutely prominent flavor of that soda. It
Well,
was just
it's probably because it's the only one that they can extract.
yeah. It was dill, baking soda, and sugar.
You're
Like, and it
familiar with
was
you're familiar with Jones Soda, right?
yeah, yes.
I'm pretty sure Mo Lester made his fixins the same way Jones Soda makes their soda.
What and how is that? How is that?
Well, I mean, Jones Soda is all about using the pure cane sugar as a
Yeah.
sweetener, and they're all about extracting natural flavors,
Hmm.
and then you just making making the soda from carbonated water and a natural flavor syrup made with pure cane sugar.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and the thing is that like that also goes back to like cane sugar is probably the way to go. It's kind of like the idea of like drinking like Mexican Coke, where it's like
Which is delicious, by the way.
it is delicious. It is delicious. If I wasn't, somebody who gets, nauseated by sugary drinks, that would be the way to go. So, I mean, in one particular, you know, view of it, these sodas are probably pretty good considering that they're made with natural cane sugar, but it's like
Right.
you can't ignore the fact that ranch is not a flavor for a soda. Like it is that is like, I was
Well, I mean, it can be. The problem is you probably need to put artificial buttermilk flavoring
yeah.
in there because I don't think there's a really good way of extracting fat flavor without adding butterfat to your drink.
Right. No, I agree. It's just like and the thing is that like it seems like also like, it's like, well, how would a company survive off of making flavors like that? And it's like, well, I mean, I remember when we did the previous podcast, you told me that they actually had a collection of like sodas that like actually sound really delicious. And it's like they probably have like a lot of sodas that sell really well that are actually really tasty.
Yeah, no,
And then they
like
have these gimmick sodas for jokes and ha-has.
yeah, for assholes to play pranks on their friends.
Sure.
Um, I mean, it's the same. It's the same idea that Jelly Belly has. They have they have cool flavors,
Yeah.
and then they have earwax and
And
popcorn.
and dirt. Oh man. You ready for this?
Oh,
Here we
do you
go.
actually like the popcorn beads?
The popcorn Jelly Belly flavor is my favorite Jelly Belly flavor.
Uh,
Yeah, I said it.
yeah,
It's my favorite.
I thought that was like the prank, like one of their prank flavors.
It's not actually. It's one of their OG normal flavors. The earwax and dirt and like booger flavor are the ones from the Birdie Bots every flavored beans, joke jelly beans.
Right.
The buttered popcorn is one of their original flavors.
I know,
Like
but every time I eat one, I'm like, because it looks exactly same to their cream soda one.
yeah, it looks
And,
like their coconut one too.
yeah, so it's that, and then you eat it, and you're like, oh, coconut, yum yum, and then you eat it, and it's popcorn,
hmm So
but it
you want to
tastes
know how this all
but it tastes
started?
like bagged popcorn.
No, I wouldn't agree with that at all.
Okay.
I mean, that's okay that you feel that way. So this all started with my sister. My sister always told me as a kid, she's like, "Oh yeah, buttered popcorn flavor is the best flavor." And she used to go out like because we used to live near the Jelly Belly factory, like not super close, but it was like not that far of a drive. So she used to take me to the Jelly Belly factory all the time. It's actually I have a lot of really good memories going to the Jelly Belly factory with my sister. Like that was like our bonding thing. And she would buy those big, like big bags of like. Sure, first of all, she would buy bags of belly flops, which are like the screwed up Jelly Bellies, and you'd be able to buy them super cheap. So you could buy them like by like the pound, like it was insane. But she would also buy like multiple bags of the buttered popcorn flavor. And she's like, this is the best flavor. And I'm like, all right. And she would put them out and me and her would just like munch on them for like hours. And like, first of all, I genuinely do love the popcorn flavored Jelly Belly. Like it's got this like it's a little sweet and it's got like that kind of slightly buttery flavor and like it's just like I don't know, it's kind of got like it's just like I don't know how to describe it other than it's kind of nice how it's kind of like creamy flavored, buttery flavored, but it's also sweet a little bit. And so it's partially because first of all, one, I think it's genuinely a good flavor. But another part of it is that it holds a special place in my heart because I have so many memories of me and my sister, you know, hanging out at the Jelly Belly factory and eating so many popcorn flavored Jelly Bellies together. Like we used to play video games together and like munch on, popcorn flavored Jelly Bellies. And so that's near and dear to my heart. So I mean, it's first of all, I think it's a genuinely good flavor, but also it's like just tasting one reminds me of that special, place in my childhood. You know what I mean? So it's probably biased because of that.
Oh yeah, no, no, it's fine. Like, okay, so in my childhood,
hmm
there was a small portion of my childhood where we weren't very well to do or very well off,
Yeah.
and one of the foods that we had in one of the foods that we had in high plentiful that we could eat was popcorn.
I was about to say, is it like Jiffy Pop?
No, no, it was like natural popcorn.
Okay.
But if you eat popcorn twice a day for like a week straight,
Ugh.
yeah, you're
Yeah.
gonna get tired. You're gonna get tired of popcorn, and it's not. And like that popcorn was actually like by all standards was pretty good.
Right. Right.
I mean, it wasn't seasoned very well because that was a luxury, but it was something. The problem is, I just grew tired of it. So when I get my hands on one of those jelly beans, a it tastes like it somewhat tastes like popcorn.
Yeah.
Actually, it tastes a lot like kettle corn, which I kind of have a love hate relationship with now.
I love kettle corn, but I get it.
Like for me, kettle corn's got to be like caramel coated and stuff. Like it's got to be candy kettle corn.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Um, but so like it's kind of like that, but like all of the like buttery flavors and everything you're talking about,
Uh huh.
like I get those, but that's not what I'm looking for in a jelly bean.
Yeah. All right.
Like I would have been fine if the jelly bean like kind of forewent trying to be buttered popcorn
Mm-hmm.
and went for raw popcorn. I think that would have been better than trying to add savory to it because popcorn is like a light sweet snack.
Uh huh.
Well, like without salt and if you just eat it raw without like salt and butter,
Mm-hmm.
which I've done before, it is slightly sweet if not bland.
Mm-hmm. I get that.
So like for like but for like something like a jelly bean, like I'm looking for sweet, I'm looking for fruity. Like
Do you
I
like
don't even like
sour? Do you like sour Jelly Bellies?
I'm not a big fan of sour candies in general.
Oh, okay. All right. Like very
Um
cherry is probably one that you would avoid then because it's more on the
yeah.
sour side.
Yeah. Like for for jelly beans and jelly bellies, I like the traditional fruits.
Yeah.
Tutti Frutti's pretty good.
Oh, that one.
Strawberry,
Yeah.
orange,
Do you ever like the pear one?
pear, watermelon are pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, dude, the watermelon ones, they're so genius. Like with the
Yeah.
green outer coating, but the red inside. And then it's like that fake watermelon that's like, this is not water. Well, it was always unique. Like I would say that a watermelon jelly belly doesn't taste like your stereotypical watermelon gummy candy, you know?
Right. It was something which is probably what made the watermelon flavor so good.
Yeah, it was different. Like
Yeah,
it still had that watermelon kind of taste to it, but it was definitely different than
yeah,
your
it wasn't watermelon.
stereotypical watermelon gummy.
Yeah, it wasn't watermelon gummy or watermelon Jolly Rancher. It was it was
Yeah.
it was similar but noticeable but different enough
hmm
to where it was interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Circling off of this tangent and going back to fake candy. Do you know what my
yeah.
do you know what my favorite fake candy in the world is?
What?
Banana flavored runts.
Dude, banana flavored runs are so good. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness, yes.
banana flavored runts are the only good runts.
Dude, yeah, I would definitely agree with that. They are so good. They have that like that
Remember chewy runts?
I
Like
don't think
runts.
I've had those. That doesn't sound
Oh,
familiar to me.
okay, so I was in high school when they came out.
Okay.
and I used to buy them at school all the time.
Uh-huh.
But they tried to fix runts by making them chewy.
Mm.
Now you know what really fixes a banana. Now a chewy banana run actually does kind of fix it a little bit, but not by much.
That's okay.
And
Yeah.
like all the other flavors were okay
Mm-hmm.
because the other flavors you were kind of just wanted to be done with, so you kind of chewed them.
Right.
So making them chewy was easy. What was better? Um, but yeah, no banana flavored runs.
Oh, they're
Like
so good. Yeah.
when I was a young adult and discovered there was a way to buy them in a bag by themselves.
Yeah, like you go to like Costco, right? And you
Or
would
something
like
like
buy
that.
them,
Yeah,
but you could like just scoop like banana flavored runts into a single bag and pay for them by the pound.
yeah. We don't have Costco's in Tennessee, buddy.
Oh, sorry. Well, they used to do something like that though.
Yeah. No, no, no. But like we would have to buy them online.
Yeah, that's
But
pretty
what I
good.
figured, but the first thing I ever bought online was a bag of was like a 3 pound bag of banana runts.
Good use
Banana
of the
laugh
internet, if I do say so myself.
banana Laffy Taffy tastes kind of similar.
Yeah, yeah,
So we're all just drinking our alcohols and enjoying candies and stuff.
yeah.
Speaking of enjoying candies,
Mm-hmm.
I bought some Kit Kats because there was a new flavor of Kit Kat that I couldn't really find locally, so I just bought some off of Amazon.
Oh yeah, you told me about this. Go on, go
Yeah,
on.
strawberry chocolate Kit Kats.
Yeah, that sounds really interesting.
Not bad.
Really?
Not bad.
How strong is the strawberry flavor in it?
Pretty strong.
Really? I actually would not have expected that.
It the strawberry coating
Yeah.
is like strawberry quick.
Okay.
Again, another one of those fake strawberry, kind of like real strawberry flavors.
Yeah.
And it pairs really nice with the dark chocolate
Mm-hmm.
and the wafer, and it's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I got a case of that, a case of the mocha ones, and a case of the mint.
Oh, the mocha Kit Kats are so good.
Oh, they are.
They're so good. I had those for I did a video on a bunch of weird Kit Kats a while
I
ago.
No, I saw those and went out and bought the mocha because
Oh, they're so good.
oh, that's probably the best one.
Yeah. The mint and chocolate one is pretty good too.
Yeah, but everything has mint chocolate. Like it's really hard to screw that up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Except for somehow York peppermint patty always does it.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, yeah. Classic. You know what would be really good?
I'm not a
Okay.
fan of York peppermint patties.
Oh, you don't like them? Oh, well, then you probably wouldn't
The
like what I'm
the
about to say
mint
then.
the mint is too like bitey.
Mm.
Like I like Andes mints with
Oh,
like
Andes
this
mints are good too.
like with the smooth mint, like the creme de menthe and the
Yeah.
chocolate.
Yeah.
Like the mint in the peppermint in the York peppermint patty is way too bitey.
Mm.
Which means they have to wrap it in way too. They're not wrapping it in enough chocolate.
So what I was gonna say is it would be really good if they did like a New York peppermint patty, but like in an Oreo, and like coated the entire like they would do like the mint filling of a New York peppermint patty in between two Oreo cookies, and then coated the entire thing in like New York peppermint patty like chocolate.
Okay, so York peppermint patty cream
Yeah. In between two Oreo cookies. And
in
then like
in between Oreo cakesters,
oh my god, yes. Yes.
and then drizzled with chocolate.
Yes! Oh my god, yes! I would so do that.
I would be down for that. I would be down for that because even if you go for the double stuffed cream puck,
Yeah.
I think that would be it because the chocolate cake between the chocolate cakesters and the chocolate coating,
Uh-huh.
that would be enough chocolate to counteract the bitiness of the York cream.
Oh, it'd be the Jimmy Jams, man. That'd be so
That
good.
actually that actually does sound pretty good.
But I was also going to say that if that didn't sound good to you, you could do the same concept, but using like Andy's mint, like chocolate.
Take two cake Oreo cakes, like take an Oreo cakester thing
Yeah.
and fill it with a creme de menthe filling,
Yeah.
and then a dark chocolate coating.
Yeah, man. That sounds so
That
good.
sounds way better.
Both ideas sound great for sure. I would be, oh man, either one would
The
be
creme de,
so good.
the creme de menthe version sounds way better than the York version.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be down for either. I would be down for either. I would probably take
I'd be,
I would double fist both of them.
I would be down. I would actually. I would probably be there too. Because the Oreo cakester is like cakey. It's like the Oreo cookie, except
Yeah.
for cakier.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of like how you really want the Oreo cookie to always be. Like everybody knows Oreos because Oreos is like practically the best milk dunking cookie in the world.
Hell yeah. My favorite thing is when you get a double stuff and you can like peel the cream off. And like this is how I roll. Like you take like a double stuff, you open it up, you peel the cream off, you shove the cream in your mouth, and then you dunk each of the individual cookies into your milk and then eat those individually. That's how I roll.
The cream can actually get stale
Yeah.
during transport.
Mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm.
like I'm fine with just dunking the whole cookie.
I'm down
Like
for that,
like
but usually they fall apart if you do it that way with the double stuff.
I don't
The
know. I never had that.
the regular ones hold together really well though.
I've never had problem with the double stuffs. Like granted, you have to hold it deeper in the cookie, and to get a good dunk, you have to get your fingers wet.
Yeah, man, I agree. Which
But I've
is
never had a problem with them falling apart on me.
mhm. Oh man, that makes me want Oreos. I think I recall that the last time I bought Oreos, they kind of made me sad. Like they were just not as good as I remembered them.
Yeah. I only buy Oreos if there's a flavor that interests me.
Like the peanut butter ones.
Even then, I'm like, yeah, whatever. I just rather eat a piece of Reese's cup.
Oh, Reese's. I still buy Reese's sometimes. Usually what I'll do is I'll go to like the 99-cent store. Cause like, so I mean, I buy regular food at, the supermarket, but I'm like, oh man, I want some junk food. It's time to go to the 99-cent store. And like, they'll sell like name brand like chocolate bars at the 99-cent store. Like, I mean, it's just like smaller quantities, but like I'm like, man, I want a 5-pack of Reese's. Like that's $1. Put that in my cart. Like I'll go and buy junk food at the 99-cent store. I don't give a shit. And every time I go to the 99-cent store, I'm like, I'm gonna buy these Reese's cups. Hell yeah, because that's the way to go, baby.
Yeah, but yeah, like the only time I really bother with Oreos at this point now is like special flavors.
Yeah.
Their key lime pie was probably my favorite of their limited edition ones.
That's interesting.
Try to think here.
You know what I've always wanted to try is I know that in Japan, first of all, Kit Kat bars are very popular in Japan. But also, not only are they popular in Japan, but specifically in Japan, they love to just whip out insane flavors. Just every flavor that they can possibly conceive of putting in a Kit Kat bar, they'll do it in Japan. And
I've also considered just because you could get them on you could go to like Amazon,
yeah,
and just buy like a bag of Japanese Kit Kat flavors.
Yeah,
because I'm actually a big fan of matcha.
That's literally the one I was trying to bring up. Was I want to try the matcha flavored Kit Kat bars. So for anybody who doesn't know, matcha is green tea, basically. So like they have like a matcha green tea flavored Kit Kat bar in Japan. And supposedly it's one of the most popular flavors that they do for Japanese Kit Kat bars. And I've always wanted to try it. Never had it before. Is that I assume that lettuce. You've probably had it. You said that that's something that you like.
No, that's something I like matcha in general.
Ah,
I've
yes.
not tried Japanese Kit Kats ever.
Yeah,
But if I had to say, like, I would be down just because, I do think matcha would be really awesome.
yeah. I would be down to try that. And I've even had like matcha. One thing that I've had for sure is matcha mochi. Have you ever had matcha mochi?
Yes.
Delicious, absolutely delicious. Um,
Yeah, a
and
little matcha cream inside of a the mochi ball.
yeah, Jimmy Jams, bro. It's so good.
Yeah.
So good.
Introduced my kid to mochi ice cream.
Oh, it's
They
so
take
good.
like they make like little ice cream balls, wrap them in mochi, and
Yeah.
they get them packaged. You can buy them packaged here at like one of the places that has them here is Publix, which is probably the closest thing that we have to a Costco.
Yeah. They're expensive though. I mean, probably because they're mostly imports, but they're usually pretty expensive. Um, but yeah, I love that stuff. So we kind of literally brought it up a couple of times, and I wanted to talk more deeply about this. So I'm gonna bring us back towards it. Me and Lettuce are obsessively me more so than Lettuce, but Lettuce is still also pretty into it. We are playing Inscription like constantly. Um, and me and Lettuce were kind of talking about, well, we'll probably end up talking about it quite a bit on the Imaginary Boys. So I want to hear more of Lettuce's opinions on Inscription.
Are you sure you want to hear that?
Yeah, man. I'm good. Like,
Okay.
I mean, I know that it's not like a perfect game for you, which is fine.
Okay.
Um,
So,
mhm.
for people who don't know, I'm gonna try to uh limit the spoilers
Yeah.
to just generic gameplay things.
Yeah.
So, first of all, outside of like the deep lore stuff that you have to like grab every game secret and then still go out to their Discord
Right.
because you can't get everything naturally anymore.
Yeah, it's one thing that's important to know, like, and I had to learn this on my own, is the story of Inscription is literally impossible to solve by yourself. You will hit a wall where it's literally impossible to understand. And you have to be able to go online and find the answers from other people. So,
Yeah, yeah.
which is
So
kind of like, I think that's a weird direction, but you know.
no, no, no. I mean, for when the game first came out, I'm pretty sure that was a lot of fun for the four people who figured it out.
Yeah.
Um, but outside of the deep lore stuff, just the stuff that you get inside the game,
Yeah.
uh, it's actually pretty good.
Oh
Like
yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, that story was probably way better than the game had any right having.
Sure. Sure. I know exactly what you mean in the sense of like it's like the quality of a triple A title telling a great story, but not for a triple A game, right?
No, it's a story. It's just like story for a collectible, like a digital card game.
All right. I think I know what you mean.
Yeah. Um, I know why you love the game so much. The atmosphere is pretty good,
Yeah.
especially in the first two acts. Well, especially the first act. The atmosphere kind of gets blown away a little bit in the second act, and then they try to bring it back in the third. But like with everything else in the third act, I think the third act is by far the weakest in the game.
That's the robot part, right?
Yeah, that's the part where you're in the robot area.
Yeah.
The bot. That is the
Now,
Botopia act.
I'm comfortable with admitting now, see here's the thing. I enjoy the game as a whole entire game. No, like in other words, all pieces combined, I think it's a great game. Now, I am totally comfortable with admitting that I do agree that out of all of the portions that you play the game, the act where you're running through the robot world is absolutely the weakest part. It's
Yeah.
there's multiple times where it's obnoxious. I will go ahead and admit that the whole mechanic behind you losing and then dropping your stuff doesn't matter. Like the idea of like you lose and then you drop your money and then you just immediately come back to it. It doesn't
Okay.
serve a purpose, in my opinion. Like it,
Okay. So if you lose, if like let's say you're at a way. So what it does is it transports you back to the latest waypoint that you touched.
sure.
If you win 2 fights and then lose the third right before your next waypoint,
Yeah.
the the battle gates reactivate and you have to go through them. However, the battle gates that you easily cleared,
Mm-hmm.
they're nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
You easily cleared them for a reason. The one you lost to was probably because A, your deck wasn't quite good enough yet, or
R-
or you got
RNG.
or you ate it to RNG.
Yeah.
If you lose to the same place 3 times in a row, go back and buy some go buy some go upgrade your cards.
Yeah.
If you've got some currency, go back and buy some card. What I really hated about that mechanic was I was overkilling people by about 90, 80 points a hit
Yeah. Well,
a
you were
game.
running Ouroboros, which is like
Yeah, I was
it's a dumb card.
I ran the broken Ouroboros
Yeah.
because in a card game I'm naturally the spike.
Sure. Sure. That's fine.
Or no, not the spike, the Timmy. So if you tell me that there's a dumb, stupid, broken combo, I'm going to do the dumb, broken, stupid combo because it makes my BP tingle.
For sure, man. It's all good.
So, okay, so unfortunately, with the 100 Ouroboros,
Yeah.
which then you could, like, what you can only really do in the second act.
I would still
However,
claim that Ouroboros is inefficient because it's double blood.
oh, it's it's stupid inefficient because it's double blood.
Yeah.
However, in the second act, you can completely negate that.
Okay.
uh there is the in the second act there is the train your Ouroboros deck, which is like a gravedigger. Oh, not a gravedigger. Uh, what is the one that there's the card that when your card dies, it makes it die again.
Oh, you're talking about the Necromancer.
Yeah, there's the necromancer,
Yeah.
and then there is the pharaoh's pet.
Yeah, which is the one where it costs bones, but you can sack it for triple blood.
Yeah, it costs bones, but you could sack it for triple blood.
Yeah.
So you basically have that in play, or Ouroboros in play.
Mm.
You sack it, you sack it. You sacrifice the Ouroboros, or you kill the Ouroboros with the hammer.
Right.
Like I think if they ever patch that out of the game, all they got to do is patch the hammer out, because the hammer isn't in any other act. It's only in Act 2.
So interestingly enough, the and I never would have realized it until you get further into the game. The hammer is locked up in the first act. It's
Yeah,
like it's latched up on the wall and they don't let you access it, which I think is
yeah,
really interesting. It's kind of
yeah,
like if you think about it, it's really interesting that there's a classic saying about magic cards that people say, which is that if there was a card that said like you may sacrifice any card that you control on the battlefield and you gain nothing from sacrificing it, people would break it. And that's basically the concept of the hammer in Inscription, which is the hammer in Inscription is just sacrifice something and gain nothing most of the time. Like, I mean, obviously you would gain bones, but you don't gain blood from it. You just sacrifice it and you gain the
Yeah.
bones, and then that's it. So, like, I think that's like the perfect parallel is like if you have the ability to just get rid of, and I agree, there are times where like I'm playing the game, like, and I've made like a bad board decision, and I'm like, God, if I could just remove that card from the board position that it's in with no consequence to me, it would be so much better. Like, even if there's like nothing I gain from removing it from the board, if I just had the ability to just remove it from the board, I would be so happy right now. So the hammer is pretty powerful in Inscription. So
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
But anyway, so yeah, so you get a combo out where you're basically able to like hammer the Ouroboros, put it back in your deck, and then you can just like sacrifice the Pharaoh's pets or something like that.
Yeah.
Sacrifice the Pharaoh's pet, play the Pharaoh's pet, play the Ouroboros, hammer the Ouroboros, and then you have like infinite bones, a handful of like 100 Ouroboros, and you could get it even bigger if you want to, but anything past, to be perfectly honest, anything past 25 is just overkill.
Well, I mean, like the thing that I've learned is if you have a like a mantis and your
Yeah.
mantis has 3 power, you're going to win every time you draw it on the first turn. You
Right.
literally don't need like all you need is a creature with 6 power. If you can have a creature that costs 1 blood and has 6 power on the board, you
Yeah.
will automatically win every fight, like all
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah. So the winning deck is uh 12 blue mages, 7 sapphire moxes, one your fully trained Ouroboros, and like 3 other cards just in case like a boss screws with you.
I have not played really with any of the Moxen that much. Like, I mean, other
Okay,
than
so
when it was obligatory.
yeah, so this is the Act 2 deck.
Right.
Uh after you basically free roll beat the Necromancer,
Yeah.
and then beat Lashy,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then you can go to the other side, go to the Mage Tower, fight the first minion, get to the
Magnificent.
uh
Oh,
eh,
the training dummy.
yeah, you get to the training dummy, and then from
Yeah.
the training dummy is where you train up.
Yeah.
But by the time you're there, you have access to all the cards,
Yeah.
and once you have a 100 Ouroboros, you're getting all the foil you need
Yeah. Sure.
to buy like any card in the set. So you could just in each area has a easily accessible merchant that sells you all that. So the beater deck, basically you draw and hope you draw at least 2 Mox and 1 Blue Mage
Okay.
in your opening, and then you play your Mox, you play your Blue Mage. If you draw as many cards as you have Moxes,
Mm-hmm.
and hope that you drew another Blue Mage,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is why you're running uh, over half Blue Mages, and,
Okay.
and you just keep casting free ancestral recall until you draw Ouroboros, and then you like hammer out a spot, play Ouroboros, like sacrifice your whatever Blue Mages you have in play, hammer out one spot for Ouroboros, slam him in and press go, and he's like, win.
Yeah. I think it's interesting though that once again, the key factor is the fact that you can hammer out a spot to fit that card in, which goes back to what I was saying. The hammer is really
Yeah,
stupid strong.
if the developers of this game get upset with the Ouroboros and
Mhm.
people technically breaking the game with the Ouroboros, which I don't see why they care. It's not like this is
It's
multiplayer
not
or anything.
actually that strong. I would still argue like Ouroboros is not that strong of a card, but
Ouroboros, well, but the thing is, the infinite combo breaks Act Two, and if you know how to get in Act Three,
yeah.
it's still you get the 100-100 version of Ouroboros.
Well, you're playing Casey's mod, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, Casey's
Ouroboros
mod.
is shit tier in Casey's mod.
Well, Ouroboros is shit tier in Casey mod because your Act Two Ouroboros doesn't transfer over.
Yeah.
You can't go into the clock and say it's 4 o'clock. Give me my mother F in Ouroboros.
I feel like also we might need to clue people in a little bit here, because I don't think we mentioned it before. Whenever we mention Ouroboros, the concept of the way that it works is all the rare cards. First of all, it needs to be said most of the rare cards have secret mechanics built into them. In other words, they have basic abilities that you can understand on the card, but they have hidden abilities that do things that are not explained on the card, and you just have to experience them. So the card Ouroboros is a lizard card that starts out as a 1/1 and it costs 2 blood, which is terrible. And it returns to your hand whenever it dies. But whenever it dies, it gains both a health point and a tough. It gains a health point and a power point every time it dies, and that's permanent. It's not just for the game; it's literally permanent. So the card alters itself permanently by 1 point every time it dies, and then it returns to your hand. So the overall concept that Lettuce is talking about is that when you're playing Inscription, there are multiple different kinds of ways to just kind of kill off your Ouroboros lizard card over and over and over again so that you can get it up to insane numbers like, oh, it's a 100, 100, 100 power, 100 toughness. And then you just put it on the board for 2 blood and it swings for 100. And you only need like, so if you're playing normally, you only need 5 points of damage to win the game. And if you're playing with Casey's mod where the scale is tipped against you, you only need 6 points to win the game. So any damage that is dealt past 5 to 6 points is basically added to your score for the purpose of spending on other cards later. Whether it's in like Act 2 where you're spending it as foils, or if you're in the other acts where a lot of the time it's considered teeth, which you spend on pelts to acquire more cards later. So the Ouroboros can be broken, but it's just very niche. Like, in my opinion, the thing that makes Ouroboros not good is the fact, like, and it sounds really ridiculous because 100 to win the game is obvious no matter the price, but the cost of blood in the game is a very pricey way to play. And a lot of the time, unless you're trying to do what Lettuce is talking about, where you can get a 100 for 2 blood and then have an insane number of extra points to buy more cards later. A lot of the time, if you're just trying to win the game as fast as possible, there are better ways to do it for cheaper costs. So, like, you would maybe want a Mantis God that has 2 power and triple strikes for for 6 total, and then that would just
Right.
automatically win you the game on the first turn. Ouroboros can't do that. So
Well,
it's
yeah, no. Naturally, Ouroboros is the kind of card that you kind of hope you get. The thing is so you and I are both playing right now in Casey's mod.
mm-hmm.
We've beaten the game, and now we're playing challenges. We're playing challenges through Casey's mod. And yes, I'll agree. Ouroboros, you grab the Ouroboros as a reward for beating the boss, if there's nothing better in play,
Yeah.
if there's nothing better given to you, or you want or you want that undying sigil.
Which is Dees. The Undying Sigil is very powerful.
Yeah, the undying sigil is pretty amazing. What makes what makes uh Ouroboros so terrible is that you got to play two blood to do it,
Yeah.
and no matter how you slice it, two blood is incredibly um
It's pricey.
it, it's except like you wouldn't think of that until you realize how the game is played,
Yeah.
and then you're like anything more like if this thing costs two blood, it's got to be doing a lot. Like
Yeah.
it's got to be hitting for five, and it's got to have five. It's got to be a 5/5 if it costs two or
Yeah. Well,
um
because in Casey's mod, like you can lose on turn 2. Like you can lose by turn 2 in Casey's mod. So
yeah
like by the time you get that Ouroboros out, you might have already lost the game and it wouldn't be able
yeah
to do anything.
yeah no, and that's it actually playing Ouroboros straight up. Like it takes like getting it if you could like playing it straight up, you can get it to 5/5.
Yeah.
You got incredibly lucky.
Yeah.
Like during normal playthroughs, because that means you had to have drawn it and paid for it five times during the course of the whole game. And there's not a lot of two cost cards that really are worth sacrificing the kind of resources you have to sacrifice in order to pay for two blood.
Yeah. Like I mean, the furthest you can go is usually like if you're running a deck that, functions around like a black goat, then it works out, but it's still very risky. It's still very risky play style. Um,
And even then, like Black Goat is not that great of a card.
no, it's not. I mean, you can work with it, but you gotta like make it really work. Like,
No. For Black Goat to be a good card, you have to have a lot of you have to have a lot of three cost cards in your deck.
I mean, I'll be honest. I sometimes will run Black Goat just for 2 bloods. Like I'll do it. I don't even care. And to make people understand what we're talking about, Black Goat is a card where if you sacrifice it, it'll automatically give you 3 blood. So
Yeah,
like,
it gives you three blood instead of now. Granted, that that three blood sigil is pretty sweet.
yeah, it is. But a lot of the time, like I've definitely sacrificed my fair share of Black Goats to a double blood rather than a 3 blood, just because I needed that board state. Um,
No,
but
I get it. It's just unless you're already deep in the game,
yeah,
there's not a lot of two bloods in the game
hmm
that I feel justified that I feel justify the fact that they're two bloods.
yeah,
Like
um,
Magpie is probably the closest one to just straight up justifying it. But
yeah.
that's
Magpie's
only because
powerful.
but that's only because like it's the only one that's actually resource neutral.
I'll admit, one thing that I've learned is that when you're playing through the story mode, it doesn't feel like the importance of blood cost is that impactful because I mean, I get it because they want you to kind of just make your way through the game. They want you to take in the story. They want you to have like a good time. But by the time you get to the end of the story and you crack into, Casey's mod will beat the ever loving shit out of you. It'll just slap you around like nobody's business.
Oh yeah, no. But even without that, like after playing through Act 1 and you actually kind of see other card like they introduce other card cost mechanics
Mm-hmm.
because Act 1 gives you blood and bones.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it doesn't dabble it only dabbles in bones in as so much
Yeah. Yeah.
that it's like, oh well, you died the first time, so it's
Mm-hmm.
probably a good idea to teach you about bones.
Mm-hmm.
And here's a card. Here's some really weak cards that barely use it.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that what's interesting is that like Blood and Bones in the in the game are kind of like the most two, like they're the main hand in hand resources. Like they function the best, they have the least amount of flaws, and they work beautifully well together. And
Yeah.
when you start diving into energy and moxin, it gets a just a tiny bit, it starts
Oh,
getting a little messy.
Moxin is okay because what Moxin teaches you is to value your limb. It teaches you to value your board space,
Yes, it does.
energy, and the reason why I think I hate Act 3 so much because Act 3 is energy based.
Yeah, it is. It's primarily energy based, and they kind of like put energy and moxin hand in hand, which is like the exact opposite of blood and bones.
Well, no, there's also blood cards.
Yeah, I
Like
mean there are, but
all four are there in Act 4,
yeah,
but you're basically doing what you did in Act 1, but you're doing it in Act 3. But instead of your primary being blood, your primary being is energy.
yeah,
And what energy is for any player who's played Hearthstone, it's basically you've done you've done this many turns, so you can cast, so you have access to this much energy.
hmm yeah. It's
So
it's
so
it's a
it time
resource
gates.
depend. Yeah, it's a resource dependent on the amount of turns that you've been playing.
Yeah, so it time gates certain spells, which, to be perfectly honest, probably uh because there's no black goddess for energy,
Yeah.
the best you could do is upgrade empty vessels to give you an energy plus sigil,
Yep. That's what I
which
did. I,
which
I did
which
I did vessels with energy plus and spikes.
yeah, I got uh you get four by the end,
Mhm.
even though the last one's kind of irrelevant.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I got spikes, energy plus, and uh block flying.
Oh, that's pretty good. I don't remember what I did for the last one. I just remember the spikes and the energy plus, which I thought were
Yeah,
like the most useful.
spikes spikes was was the most useful of the first slot. The second slot is where they give you the option for energy plus, and you just kind of have to yoink it.
Yeah. So the
Um,
idea is that energy plus would give you basically it essentially, like energy plus is really good because it basically puts you ahead by one turn on resources.
right.
And spikes is good because the empty vessels don't have damage to deal. And if you put spikes on them, it basically means that whenever something tries to attack your vessel, which is important to your board state, they will take damage for doing so. And that's really useful.
Well, yeah,
So,
because otherwise there are 0-1 nothing that just eats an attack
yeah,
and
exactly.
and puts you at less resources for which to deal with the other attack, to
Yeah.
deal with that
And
attack.
and you do need your empty vessels. They are important to your board state, so you want to make sure that you punish your opponent for attacking them. So that's why spikes is one of the best choices for
Right.
those in particular. So yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. My problem with Act 3 is Act 3 is basically Act 1
Hmm. But
with
with
the
different
I
resources, right?
with yeah, with the resources and the ideas of Act 2.
Yeah.
Act 1 is great because and Casey's mod fleshes it plays this out even better.
Yes, it
Act
does.
1 Act 1 is basically a roguelike Dark Souls where your combat is this actually fairly decent card system.
It's a great so that's the thing that I adore about this game. It is genuinely a well-made digital card game. Like it is genuinely like, and I mean, like it gets a little weird when you start getting into energy and moxin, but the base game of Blood and Bones as your resources, and the cards themselves and how they interact with one another, and like the mechanics of how the cards function, and like, you know, just trying to like, a lot of it too is also like 4D chess in the sense of like you have to like plan out your turns before you act them out. And it's a genuinely fun game. Like it will, if you're a hardcore Magic player, you will love this game. You will genuinely love this game. It
Yeah.
is fantastic.
So if I were to design this game,
Mm-hmm.
the first thing I would change is I would take Act Two. I wouldn't
Uh,
bother with the three separate acts. I would expand on Act Two severely.
yeah.
Have you seen Hatcher play Chandelar, right?
Yes. Yes, I have.
Which is basically like this adventure game where the card where the combat is using magic, where the combat battles use Magic the Gathering.
Yes. Yes.
I would make Act Two a little bit like Chandelar.
I think,
You have
yeah, I think that they
you
should have. I just wanted to say, I agree with you 100% that Act 2 should, like, I mean, I'm okay with Act 3, but Act 2 should have been much longer than what they gave it.
Yeah, Act Two should have been longer, and Act Two should have been at least 2/3 of the game.
Sure. Yeah.
Act
I
One
actually agree with you totally on that.
Act One is only as long as it is because Lashy is a cheating motherfucker.
Bruh.
Yeah, he cheats like, oh man, he cheats like crazy.
At Lashy is one cheaty McCheater face,
Yeah, he is.
and RNG can completely. You could have a god tier deck, and Lashy's RNG might just wreck you anyway.
Yeah, it will.
Uh,
Like, that's the thing too to keep in mind, guys, if you're playing this game or interested in playing this game. Especially, this needs to be said if you have not played the game and you're interested in it. This game is very RNG heavy. There's a
yeah.
lot of RNG, and sometimes
Well,
like
Act One and Act Three are basically roguelikes
yeah, yeah.
where RNG is welcome
Mm-hmm.
because and especially in Act One, uh, their dying is actually can be a benefit sometimes.
Yeah, I can see that. There are some
Um,
factors in Act 1 especially where it's like you might as well just start over. You know, it'd be
well,
more
well,
beneficial.
well, no, I mean just your death card.
Yes, that's I know what
Your
you mean.
Yeah, your death card. Uh, any card that you've upgraded
Mhm.
outside of a sigil
Yes.
keeps the upgrade.
Mhm. Mhm.
It doesn't. They don't keep sigils because that would just be stupid broken.
Well, and
Um,
also like when your death cards, like even when you lose your death cards because you gain new ones, your old death cards will come back. So if you make like a really
yeah,
stupid powerful broken death card, but then you lose
you're
it,
gonna get it. You're gonna get it back. There's a chance to get it back maybe in the
yeah,
future.
exactly. Exactly.
Because yeah, like uh, and actually, what I've done before, um, and I might wipe my save data,
Mhm.
to just kind because I kind of enjoyed doing it,
Mhm.
was trying to make the most ball breakingly busted death card.
Pelts. Pelts are the
Well,
secret.
yeah, you gotta. The thing is, it pulls three cards off your deck, so you've gotta have a deck full of pelts, and then just kind of die,
Yeah.
and then you go pelt a big, you do a pelt to try to get your cost down,
Yeah.
and then you go for whatever power toughness and sigil,
Mhm.
because even like a like a 1/2 at zero cost
Is really strong.
is one of the strongest cards in the game.
Yeah. Well, that's like the Gek. Like you remember the Gek, which is
What is the Gex secret ability? Because I've not seen it until I didn't never saw it until after I got to
I don't
the mod.
I don't think the Gek has a secret ability, but it's genuinely just all by itself really stupid powerful. So for all you Magic players out there, the Gek is basically a Memnite. For anybody who also doesn't understand what that means, the Gek is a 0 mana. Like, in other words, it comes out for free. You don't have to pay anything to play it, and it's a 1/1 creature. That's it. And I've done some stupid things with the Gek because, like, the secret to the Gek is
Get
putting
it get it early and pumping it whenever you can.
yeah, pump it with the campfire. Give it some stupid broken sigils. Like, one of the most powerful Geks I did was I got 2 Geks. I had one Gek that had the triple blood, and I had another Gek with the return to hand. And then
the Gek with an undying sigil just seems broken.
yeah, you don't even need the triple blood. Like, just have a Gek with an undying sigil and you're good to go for like the rest of the game. Like, it's stupid. It's stupid. Because then it's like, it's a free sacrifice. You can play it for free the moment that you kill it. And you can always use it as a chump blocker. So you're never scared of like putting it in front of something like way too broken or powerful. Like,
And heaven forbid you get Magpie sigil on it.
yeah, that's dumb. That's dumb. That's super dumb. But yeah, the Gek is really strong. Like, it doesn't need any additional abilities past just being a free 1/1. Like, that's good enough. Like, if they gave it anything else, like, and it's really funny because like it's whenever they talk about it, whenever the NPC talks about it, they're like, "Huh, maybe you'll find a use for it," like implying that it's not that good of a card. It's really strong. Like, the Gek is a very strong card. And I remember
That's the game trying to troll you a little bit.
yeah.
Because like for the other rare card, because other rare cards like that aren't like obvious.
Yeah.
One is the ringworm.
Yeah, the ringworm's weird. That is a weird card. The ringworm is a 1 blood 0/1, which is terrible. But there are many cards in the game that have secret mechanics, and the ringworm is a card that is a secret mechanic card, where it's kind of like like you kind of have to like think your way through it. So the ringworm is like, what would happen in real life if you ingested a ringworm? Well, you would have a parasite in you, and it would make your health bad, and it may or may not kill you. So there's a mechanic in the game where there's a campfire, and you go to the campfire, and you can put something in front of the campfire, and it'll gain either power or toughness. Around the campfire are a bunch of people who are starving to death, and they want to eat the creature that you put in front of the campfire. Every time you use the campfire, it's a gamble. They flip a coin, and if you get heads, then you get to have your card powered up. If you get tails, then the survivors around the campfire will eat your creature, and you lose it forever.
That's not necessarily true. The first time you use the buff, it always works.
Yes, I'm sorry.
However, after in the game, after your second campfire, they give you a chance to keep it on there.
Mm-hmm. Or after your first one, you mean?
Yeah, I think it was either first or second one for me.
Yeah,
but after the second one, they give you a little button and they say, "Hey, you want to run this one again?" And then at that point, you're running a coin flip as to whether or not they eat your thing or not.
Yeah.
If you put anything with the poison sigil or the ringworm on there, what ends up happening is all future campsites will have everybody dead.
Yeah.
Because it'll be empty, and you can just free double upgrade every card.
Yeah. So you would either need a card with the poison sigil or the ringworm, which has the secret mechanic of killing everybody. But I mean, it's unique to that one specific mechanic. And what's actually really funny was I did a run which I recorded and then deleted afterwards because I failed. Because I'm banging my head against a wall right now in the game. But I did a run. You're gonna love this, Lettuce. I did a run where I got a ringworm, and I kept putting it at the campfire, and those bastards would not eat it. They refused to eat it. I got it up to 4 power, and then you know what I did after I got it to 4 power? I then was like, fine, you assholes don't want to eat my ringworm? My ringworm is going to win me every goddamn game. So I sacrificed a die. Huh?
I was about to say, like, I've had a 5/5 ringworm once. Like,
I really like yeah.
I got the ringworm.
Yeah.
I got the ringworm at the first pelt trader.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, mono campfires, let's go. and then what ends up happening is I get to the first one and go toughness. I'm like, okay, fine, it's a 1-3 now. I'm gonna spank that plus sign and watch my ringworm get eaten. Plus, no, it's a 1-5.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, that's fine. There's another campfire, a couple places, spaces down. It's not too far out. If it dies here, no big deal.
Right.
So I path myself through a campfire, and I get there, and they're like, they're all looking at my tasty. And I'm like, look at this tasty worm. It's a 1-5. It's got a fat butt, real tasty. Slam it down on the fire. Hit that, and this is a power one, and I hit plus, and I put it down there, and it's like, okay, so it's a 2-5 now. I'm gonna hit this plus, and you guys, this is gonna be some tasty worm plus. they're like, no, f you, dude, have a 3-5, and I'm like, okay, fine, 3-5, that's great. There's a campfire over here. Before there's a campfire right after the next fight. I'll go ahead and win with this like 3-5 ringworm. So that's like, I get there and I get to the next campfire and it's attack again, and I'm like, oh, that's great. Because at this point I'm actually contemplating, what do I do if this fails?
Right.
So I slap it down there. It's a 4-5. I hit that plus, and I'm like, come on. They're like, no, I have your 5-5. But I'm like,
ringworm, let's go.
I'm like, okay, so I have a 5-5 1-drop. Let's get our out of this run. which is exactly what happened.
Dude, that is
I don't even think I beat the third boss. I don't even think I came close to beating the third boss.
Yeah. Well, like, because
I didn't draw my ringworm.
Did you give it anything like bifurcated strike or anything like that?
I gave it flying blocking, and I think it also at one point. I also think I did get bifurcated strike. I do believe I found a load a mantis and put bifurcating strike on it.
Yeah. I when I did mine, because like mine was almost exactly the same. The only difference was that I kept getting attack bonuses instead of defensive bonuses. So like it ended up having 5 power and 1 health, and I'm like, whatever, like that's fine. So like I gave it the direwolf double strike, and it would just come out on the first turn, and it's like, oh, I drew my ringworm on the first turn. I guess this game's over then. Like,
yeah, so yeah.
The game gets so dumb. Like the mechanics like get insane.
I would love to see what this game could do multiplayer, like multiplayer.
It would be interesting for sure.
But then again, there needs to be like this card
system. There would have to be more balance.
This card system has there would have to be more. The problem is like a lot of the charm of this game, falls flat the second you can't customize your cards.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
But I still kind of want to see what they could do with a fully fleshed out system.
Yeah,
for multiplayer.
Like it would be interesting, but there would be some like they would have to just completely remove fecundity. Like fecundity is way too broken. Like there's no way like like some of the
It's
mechanics.
it's not okay. So fecundity is not completely broken if you don't have it on a card with any other sigil and or any other card that has more than 2 toughness.
Yeah, it's
Like what they end up having to do, and again, like now that I think about it, like it'd be fun to try it, but it also wouldn't have the same kind of charm as the game has now.
yeah,
Is you wouldn't have access to shrines. You couldn't build a deck
yeah,
like you do in this game because everybody would just be like, okay, so my deck is now 7 5-strike Manus Gods.
exactly. Yeah, yep.
Pew 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 pew. So like nothing like Manus God would well, first of all, the game would probably be to there would be nothing with more than 3 power.
Hmm.
Trifurcated strike would be gone.
Yeah.
Nothing with 1 toughness would have a sigil outside of flying. Nothing with 1 blood would have a sigil without flying.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, they would need to balance the non-bone and blood aspects of the game.
You mean like they would have to like redo like energy and moxin and stuff like that?
Yeah, energy and mox. Like I like the fact that there's other casting resources than blood and bone.
Yeah.
You could have a good system with blood and bone, with just blood and
Definitely.
bone.
It's solid. It's the two mechanics are actually hand in hand pretty solid. Like definitely.
But I think there is a spot for energy cards or cards that
Yeah.
cost energy, and I think there is a spot for the Moxen. The
Mhm.
Moxen would probably require the most tweaking.
Yeah, it's like the downside. Like Moxen is hard to play with because it's like board space is already limited as it is. Like you only have so much board space to like maneuver and do things that you want.
I think that's what keeps I think that's what keeps Moxen decks in check though. Because
I mean, I
because because
guess.
because if the alleys were 5 or 6,
Mhm.
because if the alleys were 6 7 instead of 4 or 5,
Mhm.
um like there would be nothing like there would be nothing to playing to playing 2 sapphire moxes
Mhm.
and a bunch of and a bunch of blue mages.
Yeah,
Like that
I
would
get
be
that.
that would be that would be the first that would be the first 12 cards in everybody's deck.
Mhm. Yeah.
Because
It's
because as we've all pointed out, uh like resources are like casting resources are such a prime scarcity in this game
mhm. Yeah. Well,
that
like that goes
anything
back to talking about like why it's difficult casting things that are two blood and why triple blood is like damn near impossible.
yeah like
Yeah.
things that are that are one and free things that like energy wise uh like energy is where they could put the broken stuff in and I think energy is where they could put some of the more broken stuff.
Yeah, because it's time capped.
Yeah, it's time cap. So anything energy for like one of the things I hated about Act 3 was energy. Is a time capping. It didn't feel like the same game at that point.
Yeah.
Uh, and there were some 4 energy cards that were just stupid and not very good at all.
One of the
You're
things
like,
that made me really angry, like, let me know if this made you angry. So, like, this was, and like, legitimately, like, it ticked me off whenever I saw it. So, in Act 3, there was a rare card for energy, and it was like a 4 or 5 energy cost card, and it was like a 3/3 with no abilities, and it was a rare card. Did you get that card? Did you ever see that?
yes,
That pissed me off to no belief. Like I was so mad. I was like, I'm never like this is a rare card. You have to
it's a
waste like
rare
four
card.
You have to waste 4 or 5 turns to get to it, and it's a goddamn 3-3.
Yeah, but let's face it, a 3-3 wins the game.
I mean, like, and no abilities. I don't know. It really kind of like it put into perspective the concept of like, like, because I would rather just play, like a sentinel, like a sentry, which was like a 1 energy, and then it would kill anything, it would attack anything that moves in front of it, and then you could staple on an ability for it to like navigate the board, which was really fun.
Okay.
Like,
So the
or
thing
even
about
like the energy grizzly, which would transform and be like a 4/4 on the battlefield or whatever when it transformed, was
yeah,
better. And that was a common card. You know what I mean?
yeah, but Act 3,
Yeah.
the pinnacle of Act 3 was you were supposed to upgrade. You were supposed to put 4 sigils on every card.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That
That
was
was
the idea.
you quickly find out that putting sigils on cards was uh, how you how you kind of increase things.
Hmm.
That 4/4 for 4 energy with no other real casting
It
that
was like
three
a
three
3/3 for 5. Like, it was like a
okay
3/3 for 5.
yeah but so if you somehow manage to maintain the size of your deck, which is almost impossible in Act 3.
Yeah.
um
Because they don't have like any sacrifice outlets, if I remember. But then again, you do have access to the hammer, so that's not terrible.
yeah so well no, I'm just saying you have to keep your deck size small because you want to be able to draw your 3/3 for 5 energy.
Sure. Yeah,
um
yeah, yeah,
but what you do is you put like you put you put sigils on it,
yeah.
and you get 4 sigils on it, and it becomes a great card. That's why a 3/3 is a game ender. A three
Potentially,
three twos.
potentially.
The wolf is a common game ender.
Yeah, yeah,
If a wolf gets into like if a wolf like if you could somehow drop a turn 1 wolf
yeah.
by going Squirrel Black Goddess wolf.
Sure.
If you drop that wolf, if you drop that wolf in a lane that he isn't kept putting something into, you've won the game. It just
Yeah.
took 2 turns to do it.
That's also making me realize how much bullshit the RNG Casey's mod is. Have you seen me do those battles where they drop 2 wolves on the first turn?
Oh yeah, no,
It's
that's
bullshit.
unfair.
It's bullshit, man.
That's some grade A unfair crap because the only thing you could do is drop. The thing is like you can't draw on your first turn.
Yeah.
You gotta hope you have a pelt in your hand, because the only thing you can do is drop a scroll and a pelt and then be unable to do anything else for the rest of the game. That is one of the RNG. It's either you have to win there,
Yeah.
like you got to draw your
Your
quadrifac.
mantis with 3 power.
Yeah, you got to drop your quadrificated strike Manus God.
Yeah. Such
because
bullshit.
because they're winning on turn 1 as well.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing about Casey's mod is they when you're on challenge 7, like they're like they know how they're playing. They're expecting you to win on turn 1, so if they're expecting you to win on turn 1, they're ready to win on turn 1 or turn 2 as well. So like you better have that 3 power goddamn mantis or you're
Bruh.
like it's so
Yeah,
dumb. It's so
yeah,
dumb.
yeah. But no, I actually kind of do love the game. After we get done with this, uh, I'm gonna wipe my save data and I'm gonna play through it again.
That's cool, man. I'm really
Um,
hoping that one of the things that I keep hoping is I'm hoping that Casey's mod, if I keep running through the challenges, will unlock the like energy in Moxen, because all they're doing is bones and blood, and I kind of actually do want the other energy sources, like
I
the
don't think it
other.
does.
You
I
don't
don't
think
think it
so?
does. Well, no, because Casey's Mod is basically Act 1
Mm-hmm.
with like the difficulty spiked up a little bit.
And also additional cards too.
Yeah, with some additional cards. So I
Yeah.
don't think you're currently playing the last. You're currently able to play the last challenge, right? I don't.
What do you mean?
I thought there was only 7 challenges.
No, there's more.
Okay.
I think it goes, I don't know how far it goes, but challenge 7 is definitely not the last cuz I have not unlocked all of the challenge modes yet. And there's also, I think there's like 4 or 5 decks that I haven't unlocked yet, as well
Yeah.
as there's a bunch of cards I also haven't
Yeah.
unlocked yet.
I think Casey's Mod is, but I think they limited Casey's Mod to only Bones and Blood.
Mhm.
Only because you can't you don't have a energy deck, or
Yeah.
you don't have the vessel deck.
Yeah. Well, and something else though that I keep thinking about is I
They could,
haven't beat
I guess they could probably do Moxen, but didn't Moxen have a no, Moxen didn't have a Moxen deck.
I haven't beaten I haven't solved all the puzzles in the room. I've been actually like it's actually very difficult to solve the puzzles in Casey's mod. Which are they're similar to the I found out I basically tried to uh try the clock puzzle based on how I solved it the first time. It's not the same answer. It's got another answer to it, and I don't know
Yeah,
how to unlock it.
yeah. It doesn't have the
Um,
default 11 answer that everybody else had.
yeah, well, because like the original answer, I think was it was like
Basic,
256, and I tried 256, and it didn't work.
okay.
So
Basic answer in Act 1. Basic answer was 4, and yeah, I believe it was like 256 or something.
yeah,
Yeah, neither one of those activate anything.
yeah.
Um,
So I haven't tried to cheat by looking it up yet. In other words, like even though like I looked it up on my video, which I guess is cheating. I didn't try to look it up on Google to see if Casey's mod had a special answer yet. Um, but I think my current theory is I have to solve the painting puzzle first. And then I think that if I solve the painting puzzle, it might unlock the clock puzzle. And then if I solve the clock puzzle, I think it'll unlock the drawer puzzle. And then if I solve the drawer puzzle, I don't know where it's going to go from there. I think I have to smash open the cage to get the wolf totem, and then I don't know, you know? So I just haven't had the chance to solve the painting puzzle yet. I keep like I never every time I play Casey's mod, I can never acquire the cards necessary to solve
I
the
didn't
painting puzzle.
I didn't do the pacing. Like, part of the reason why I want to go back and do it, because I didn't do the painting. I didn't do the painting puzzle in Act 1 either.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I think you need to be able to solve all those puzzles to unlock everything. I think.
The painting puzzle is the only one you don't have to do.
Oh, I see. I don't even remember what it unlocked in the original game.
It gave you special cards.
Oh, okay. All right. But it seems like that it's more important in Casey's mod, like because there's a lot of puzzles that I can't solve, and I feel like the only one that I can solve is the safe and the painting. And the safe doesn't give you anything. I've already unlocked it. It doesn't do anything. He hides the meat inside the safe, which doesn't do anything.
He
But
does that. He does that as well. If you cheat and open the safe before you technically should,
Mhm.
you find meat there as well.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the answer to the safe is in the book. So the
Yeah.
book that tells you what all the sigils do. But yeah, I just have to solve the painting puzzle, and every time it's been a challenge because like I can never acquire the cards that are required to solve the painting puzzle. So I keep hoping that if I solve all the puzzles, maybe it'll unlock more cards, or I want to unlock more game modes. But maybe maybe if Casey's mod is only Blood and Bones, that might be a signal that there's going to be another expansion where they do only Energy and Moxen.
Maybe. We'll
Yeah,
see.
I kind of hope. But I adore the game, and I can't stop playing it, and I love it, and I want to keep playing it. And
I see, and now that I finally got a chance to play it, I can actually see why.
yeah,
It's
well, it's
it's
also
got kind of the atmosphere stuff that you love,
yeah,
and it's a fairly decent card game. Like
yeah.
even I still find myself having a hard time reading the board state.
Oh yeah, it's challenging sometimes.
Yeah. Like I'll get tripped up every once in a while because I forget that the arrows move.
Yeah, yeah. Like sometimes, like you'll forget that the movement on the board with the arrows will throw off like your prediction for the next 2 turns.
Yeah.
Or like sometimes you'll have that one moment where you're not paying attention to the scales. Or the one that killed me today was I wasn't paying attention to a very specific sigil and how it functioned. And like that was literally the difference between life or death. Like one sigil can throw off a complete game, or sometimes you don't realize the scale state, like where the scales
Mhm.
are, or yeah, it's wild as hell. Or sometimes they'll throw 3 goddamn wolves on at you on the first turn, and you have no way of handling that in the slightest. God damn it. Um, But yeah, man, I adore the game. And I was actually really encouraged by some comments that were left for me today on my videos. I got a comment from Wrath of Wood that was really encouraging, where Wrath of Wood was like, dude, like he basically was like, dude, you're good at this game because I can't even get past challenge 2. Like, and I was like, oh, thank you.
I've still yet to beat challenge 1. So, yeah, no, I guess I need to get good, scrub.
They're all difficult. They're all really difficult. And another comment that I got that really encouraged me on keeping up with the challenges was there's a guy who has been coming to my channel recently because he really likes the inscription stuff, named Showed. Shout out to you, Showed. I know you're a relatively new person to my channel, and I appreciate how interactive you've been with my content. Showed was telling me that he was actually very impressed with my gameplay, despite the fact that I'm not picking optimal strategies. He was like, you're not picking strategies that are the most optimal to win the game automatically, but he's impressed with the strategies that I have picked and how well I'm doing with them, considering how far I've gotten into the game. So shout out to you, Showed. Thank you for the very kind comments. He's also been very good at helping me figure out strategies that I otherwise was struggling with. So thank you so much. I don't know if he listens to the podcast, but if you do, that's a shout out for you. So thank you so much.
Oh, by the way,
Uh-huh.
something I don't think you know in Casey's mod,
Mm-hmm.
if you double reset instead of getting pelts, you get a pot. If you reset once, you get a pelt. You get a possum instead of your first pelt. And if you get a second, if you do it 2 times, you get a ringworm instead of the second pelt.
Basically, you're saying I know what you're talking about. You're basically saying if you end your run early.
Yeah, quit.
Yeah, I've done that before, and I did find that out. They will scold you and say you don't deserve the pelts. Here's a possum instead. I
Yeah, then
got that one time.
I did. I was like, okay, fine. I wonder what happens if I do it twice. And I'm like, ringworm. I'm like, are you going to scold me and give me a ringworm? Is there a campfire right? Oh yeah, there's a campfire right there. Let's see if they eat it. Oh, they ate it. Well, there you go.
That's pretty funny. I didn't know about the ringworm, but I did know about the possum. I did know
Yeah,
about that.
yeah. I mean, the possum is whatever.
The ringworm is, I would argue, ringworm is better than possum, but
Well, yeah, but you gotta have no pelts. But then I'm like,
yeah.
hey, no pelts. I'm not a big fan of the pelts.
Yeah,
In
it
case,
seems like a lot of people don't like the pelts. Like
in,
you
in
like
case,
Showed said the same thing.
in Casey's mod, where you're not ever guaranteed to have ever guaranteed to see a trader node outside of the first one.
Yeah.
Like I just like
I would,
outside of opening, they always feel like a dead draw.
yeah. Well,
Because
so I encounter,
I'll sometimes like because I'll pack a deck full of ones, and I'll be
Mhm.
like, so I'm like, I'm just drawing this thing, hoping that it's slightly better than what's on board. I can sacrifice it, put it up, and maybe change a little something.
Yeah. So I had a really interesting realization with pelts when I was playing the game earlier, because I recorded myself because I got all the way to the end of the map and to the end of challenge 7, and I lost, so I deleted the video. But I had a realization while I was right before I went into the boss fight. I had 4 pelts, and I was like, "Well, I'm going to go to the pelt trader and trade off my pelts." And one of the things that I was saying was I want to get rid of these pelts because I want to thin my deck. And then guess what I did? I traded the pelts, and then I was like, oh, wait, I didn't lose any cards. I just gained the same number of cards. So I had a realization that it's better to just not have pelts, period. It's better to not gain pelts. It's better to not have them, because if you're thinning your deck because you want your cards that are going to win you the game, the pelts are bad draws because they're not cards that are going to win you the game. But also, even if you trade the pelts in to like gain cards, you're still not going to thin your deck. You're just going to make it the exact same size that it was before.
Okay, so
So,
do you want a spoiler for the cabin rewards?
oh no, it's all good. Don't worry about it.
Okay,
You mean,
because
in other words, like what just tell me, is it worth it?
the only thing that gives you something is painting.
Okay. So, okay, got it. That's too bad. But when you like, does it feel like it's worth it? Like, is it worth solving?
It's items that are unlocked via painting. I don't think it's cards.
Okay.
So no, because items feel kind of useless in Casey's mod sometimes.
I would actually say that sometimes items are the difference between life and death, especially when the RNG is bending you over the table and putting it in your
I
bum.
mean, yeah, the removal ones are good, but that's about it.
Um, Sometimes the boulders and the frozen possums have actually saved my ass a couple times.
Okay.
So,
I mean,
yeah.
I can see point. Like I burn those constantly
There
because
have been a couple of times where they would throw like 3 wolves at me, and I would feel so safe hiding behind a frozen possum.
right.
Like, you know?
I
I'd be
guess
like, at least this gives me 2 more turns to figure out what the hell I'm supposed to do,
I
you know?
guess uh I burn them so frequently because my typical starting play, granted I've never made it past challenge 1 yet, is go for the backpack if unless the pelt like puts me to place where like I obviously either want to shrine something away or
Are
I
you
got
talking about like a pack rat?
yeah,
Okay,
like
okay.
the first thing like unless there's something I obviously want to shrine up or I have a ringworm I want to try to sacrifice,
Right.
I'll typically go for the pack rat
Yeah.
because it's I just hey that's a good sigil to have around.
So, it's very common in Casey's mod to start out with 2 items instead of 3. So
Well,
if you go to the
well
backpack,
that's a challenge limitation.
yeah, I was gonna say, because like if you go to the backpack immediately, it'll just give you an item. It won't give you a pack rat. And I will agree with you. Pack rat is like crazy strong. It's crazy, crazy strong. So I understand why you would do that. But a lot of the time in Casey's mod, like one of the most common challenges to take on is no hook. And when you play with no hook, they start you with 2 items instead of 3. And so if you go to the backpack, it'll always give you an item instead of a pack rat, which is like a lot of the time not worth it. Usually, I only go to the backpack when my items are completely empty. That's when I want to refill. Um, But I will admit, like Pack Rat's good. It's very common when I get a rare card and Pack Rat is one of the options. I will actually go for Pack Rat. It's very strong.
Yeah, no, that's a it's one of the one of the common two drops in the game that are pretty good just
Mhm.
by itself.
Yeah,
But I often just kill it for the sigil.
yeah, yeah. Like put it on a cockroach or something like that.
I'm a big fan of like if I don't have a cockroach, I'll just put it on the toad the toad I get.
The bullfrog.
The bullfrog.
That's
Like
so good.
the bullfrog's one of my favorite common cards.
That's so funny. I don't like the
I
bullfrog that
love
much, but I get it.
I love like I've used the bullfrog to turn Stoat into a flying blocker.
Good. That actually makes the stoat useful for once in its goddamn life.
Well, I mean, the Stoat and the bullfrog have the same stats, except for the bullfrog has the sigil.
Yeah, which means the stoat is terrible.
Yeah, like it's like I got a meh card and a terrible card. I'll sacrifice the meh card to make the terrible card meh and have one less card in my deck.
There you go. That's a good
Which
way to look at that.
which is like uh yeah, because this deck value because this game values like building one or two just like insane cards,
Yeah.
your ability to draw them every game
Uh-huh.
is your ability to win.
Yeah. That's actually funny because with the like what I was saying before, the realization about pelts is you're better off just never getting pelts and never trading in pelts either. That kind of makes me want to kind of like try to play just without pelts. Like, which makes me think also that the challenge mode where pelts are really expensive is actually probably pretty easy if you're trying your best to stay away from them. And also just in general, like
I've
combining
had
cards is good.
I've
Bone
had a
Lord is important.
yeah, I've had a map where because I'll avoid the trapper
Yeah.
if at all costs if I don't have seven teeth
Hmm.
because I like buying the knife. It's removal. You need removal.
Yeah, the skinning knife is really good. That is true. The skinning knife is really good. The only problem
But
is that you gain a pelt.
yeah, you get saddled with a pelt, which I'll just go ahead and throw on the Bone Lord. Um,
Bone Lord's going to be mad if you do that.
yeah. Oh
But then
no, you
again,
get
that means he gives you nothing, which is great.
yeah. Oh
Yeah.
no, I start with nothing instead of one free bone. Oh no.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
I just yeah, like because I've had runs where there's just like unavoidable trappers,
Yeah.
and I would be happy to buy wolf pelts,
Right.
but he gives you a free, but he gives you the free rabbit pelt, and rabbit pelt gives you nothing.
Well, it gives you common cards, I guess. Like if that's what you're cool with.
It gives you really bad. Like I've never had a good common card come up from it.
Cockroach, corpse maggots, field mice.
I've
Um,
never seen. I've never seen. Course.
I've gotten all those with rabbit pelts.
I've gotten cockroach. I don't think cockroach is that good.
I think it's amazing. It's one of my favorite cards in the game. One of my favorite combos is cockroach with rat king stapled onto it for because then you could just have it forever. It's great.
Yeah, I guess it's just. Uh, I guess I don't play with bone as much as you do.
I mean, I don't play with bones that often, but usually, like, what I'll do is like I'll get like a few really good ones, and then like the thing is like because if you get cockroach with the king with the rat king ability, it's just a free card. Like it's just a card. Like you can use it for chump blocking, you can use it for sacrificing, like you can just it just you never have to worry. Like one of the main things is if you have like the cockroach with the four bones, um, you never have to worry about chump blocking anything ever again, as long as it's a singular creature. and you never really have to worry about a singular sacrifice ever again, which is the majority of your sacrifices anyways. So it's really good. And then corpse maggots is insane because you just staple that onto anything and you're good to go. Field mice is insane because of fecundity. I mean, rabbit pelts will buy you a kingfisher, and kingfishers are great. Rabbit pelts will buy you a cuckoo, and cuckoos are bonkers. Rabbit pelts will buy you magpies, and magpies are bonkers. Let's see what else. I mean, you got to remember the majority of the cards in the game are common cards. Like,
Right. No.
there's no uncommon. There's common cards and there's rare cards. And
Yeah,
then
wolf pelts get you pre-sigiled cards. More is my thing.
yeah. Well, I mean, so pre-sigiled cards are okay. They're like, because sometimes they can be a burden, because sometimes they'll give you like three, like if you go to like the cave master and he gives you, 3 sigiled cards and they're all shit tier. And you're like, I would rather build my own sigiled card than take one of your 3 pre-sigiled cards. But then again, sometimes he'll give you something bonkers. I've seen that before. Like, for example, one time I got a pre-sigiled card from the cave master, and he gave me a pre-sigiled card that was a cockroach with it was a cockroach with like fecundity and corpse eater, which was bonkers. It was stupid. So like, sometimes he'll give you something insane. He even gave me like a wolf pup with corpse eater and like bifurcated strike, which was crazy. So I mean, you never know. But like a lot of the time there's like a lot of shit tier options that he'll give you. So, it's I like the common cards a lot. Like, I mean, there's obviously some ones that are obnoxious. Like, like you get like your elk, just your baseline elk, and you're like, ugh, go away. Or, I don't know. There's some that I always avoid. Trying to think of, like, elk is usually one that I'll stay away from because it's just like, go away. Let's see. Sparrows are terrible. Never ever take a sparrow. Or I don't know. I mean, like there are common cards that are bonkers. Like there are some bonkers common cards because like, like I said, like field mice is, you always take a field mice. Always. Or you always take corpse maggots. Or I always take cockroach. Always. But yeah, I don't know. And rabbit pelts are going to get you all that stuff, like especially in the very beginning. But we probably should wrap this up though. This is going on a bit. So I mean, is there any last minute thoughts you want to say about Inscription or anything like that?
Not about Inscription, but I have another episode of Lettuce Was Right.
Yeah, I know you want to talk about that. You think you can? I mean, you want to maybe we can expand upon it in another episode, but do you want to just give the basic breakdown?
Okay, no, basic breakdown. I predicted that Breath of the Wild was going to be delayed until 2023.
Mm-hmm.
And yesterday they announced it's delayed till spring 2023. Now all we got to do is get an announcement for the next Switch hardware. Otherwise it's going to be delayed till 2024.
I mean, yeah, it'll sell systems. So that's probably what they want to do.
Well, I mean, at this point, it sounds like they're trying to build a game that the Switch just can't handle.
That's possible. They did actually put a preview into it where they showed like there's flying islands and stuff like that. So
yeah, that was a lot of that stuff was stuff we'd already seen.
Yeah,
but at least they still showed something.
Yeah, which means they're working on it.
Well, I mean, obviously they're working on it, and obviously they still need like 4 or 5 months to finish it. Mm-hmm. But also they need 4 to 5 months to get
the next hardware out.
The finalized the next hardware.
Yeah, reasonable. Do you think it'll be like an upgraded Switch, or do you think they're going to actually bring out a new system?
I think with the Switch's success, Nintendo from here on out is going to release Switches.
Interesting. That would make sense because that's basically what they did with the 3DS. Like they were like, okay, we have the final product. Here on out, we're just going to make it better. You know?
Yeah, but the other thing is they've got systems and things that kind of work in the Switch ecosystem.
Right.
Nintendo Switch Online, they don't want to have to redesign that.
Right. All right.
So that's part of the reason they're going to say backwards compatibility.
Yeah.
It's not like any other competitor is making like huge sweeping changes in their hardware.
Yeah.
Like like PlayStation from here on out is just going to be iterations. Every other year or two, you're going to get a PlayStation and then the Pro version of that PlayStation. Every 2 years, Xbox is going to release a new Xbox.
Right.
It's basically the smartphone model that everybody. It's basically the smartphone model at this point from here on out for everybody until everybody decides that like everything streaming and game consoles is a waste of time when they can just sell subscription services to streaming services and whatnot.
Right. I get that. All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this one up. This was a lot of fun. I could talk about Inscription for hours and hours and hours, which is why we basically did that.
I mean, this is gonna be. I mean, outside of like some editing magic, this is a 2-hour podcast.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Which is why we kind of like hard broke where we hard broke.
Yeah, it's all good, man. But I'm going to say the last few things, which is, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like button if you enjoyed this. If you enjoy listening to us ramble about card combos on Inscription, then go ahead and hit that like button. If you're not already subscribed, please subscribe. We greatly appreciate it. And go ahead and hit that notification bell so that you can always know when these podcasts are going to come out or when I'm going to be streaming or making other kinds of videos. Highly recommend it, considering I have been crazy content creator these last few days, and I am hoping to keep on that track. And leave a comment down below. Let us know what you think, whether it's about Inscription or about watermelon candy, because we talked about that for a while. And yeah, check in the description below for all the wonderful links such as PayPal, Streamlabs. All donations are greatly appreciated. Wonderful shout out to the amazing Patreon members, which include Bo, Falcon, Fajuk Enterprises, James P, Miss Rebecca, as well as Scorpio guys. You guys are the reason why we are able to constantly make this podcast as wonderful as we possibly can. So we greatly appreciate you. And also, check in the description below for the wonderful Teespring merch. I've been working hard on it. I am currently conceptualizing a new merch design. I plan on a Inscription style merch very soon. So if you guys want to check out the merch, I would greatly appreciate it. Great way to support me. And I think that's pretty much the majority of it, the high and the low, as well as how the cards may fall on the table. So I think I will say, other than that, we have been the Imaginary